So today we're going to be making spaghetti. These are all the ingredients that I will be using. You can omit the mushrooms if you don't like mushrooms, but this is what I use in my spaghetti and it comes together really quick. First, you want to start by chopping up your veggies. I'm going to rough chop the onion. I'm going to chop up the bell pepper into a diced and going to press my garlic through the garlic press. Now when I peel my onion, I always get the first and the second layer because sometimes that second layer can be a little tough too, so I get rid of both of the layers. Chop the onion in half, run the knife through. You can do less onion, a half onion if you're not a fan of onion too, or you could omit the onion, but I think that it makes it taste amazing. So I'll put that to the corner, and now we're going to start chopping the bell pepper. Normally I kind of go down the sides like this. This is a fresh pepper that I got out of my friend's garden. Actually, she got it out of the garden for me and brought it over to my house. I'm just gonna rinse the seeds out really quick. And I'm just gonna run the knife through it. That over there with the onion. All right, now on to the next step. In my opinion, it's easier to run the garlic through the press because it gets more garlic flavor into your spaghetti, and if you're like me, you love garlic. So I'm just going to peel the garlic because the peels will get stuck in the press and you will have to clean it out every single time, so you might as well just peel it now. And I'm just prepping before I even start the spaghetti because I like the sauce to simmer. It can simmer for however long. And I'm going to finish peeling this garlic and I will be right back. So now that I have my garlic peeled, I'm going to press it. Usually I can do 2 at a time. And I'm just going to push it right out onto the board and scrape it off with my knife. And do the other 2. And scrape that off. And there's the garlic. I don't chop my mushrooms. I kind of chop them up with a spatula once I put them in the sauce, so I'm not going to do that right now. And this is going to be set to the side while I start to brown my Italian sausage. So this is my electric skillet. I use it often, especially for spaghetti sauce, because it can just sit here and it can simmer. You can turn it on low and it's perfect for spaghetti sauce. First, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to my pan and let that get warm. And I'm going to add my mild Italian sausage. I do not like hamburger in my spaghetti. I had spaghetti so much growing up as a child and I got so sick of it, so this is my new way of doing this. So just add that to the oil. Take the paper off, of course. Jeez, it's coming off in strips. Alright, now we're going to let that brown and we'll get it going. So you can just grab a spatula and start breaking this up. Alright, we're going to let this brown and I will be back when it is done. So once my sausage gets to this point, I'm going to add my onion and my green pepper. I don't add the garlic yet because I don't want it to burn, and it being in the pan that long, it might burn, especially on the high heat that I'm cooking this on. So the good thing about the Italian sausage is it's not very greasy. It doesn't cause a lot of grease in your pan like the hamburger does, and it's a lot more flavorful. So I can add my veggies now and I don't have to worry about draining this because it really doesn't have a lot of grease. Now I'm going to add my mushrooms and my seasonings. These are pre-cleaned baby bella mushrooms, so I'm just going to throw these in. And we're going to go in with the basil. I just like to sprinkle it in. Sometimes it doesn't come out fast enough, so I just take the little top off. Usually I like to use basil pesto that you can buy or pre-made, but when I don't have that, I'm going to use the dry basil and the fresh garlic. This Italian blend seasoning, you can get this anywhere. I always buy the Walmart version brand, whatever you want to call it. Throw that in there. We have onion powder, throw that in there, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Give that a stir. The mushrooms really shrink up a lot, so it's really not necessary to break them up into tiny pieces unless you have someone that doesn't like mushrooms, or you're not a huge fan but you do like them in spaghetti. Then you can chop them up and you can just hit them with a spatula and get them into kind of smaller pieces, because we like big chunks of mushrooms in this house. So now I'm going to add the garlic. We're going to let that go for just a few more minutes. all of my sausage is browned through, and I'm going to add my spaghetti sauce. And that is it for the sauce portion of my spaghetti. Sometimes I like to add a little water to the jar just to thin it out a little bit and to make more sauce. I just put a couple of tablespoons of water in there, put the top back on, shake this up, and throw that in. Now, if you have a lot of time, you can cook this for a couple of hours, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and just let it simmer. It's gonna thicken up and all those flavors are gonna come together. It's so delicious, it's so good, and it's so easy, especially for a weeknight meal when you've been at work all day. You just let this simmer, the mushrooms get really soft, the onions and the peppers get soft, and it is just so good. I will be back for the noodle portion.